So, throughout this little video series of working on this Honda, you'll probably have heard me say stuff like, oh wow, this owner has done some weird ass wiring stuff to this car. And here's another example of that weird ass wiring stuff. You can clearly see that this wire has been stripped back and then just disconnected. I don't know what for, but I think it could be one of the reasons why the speedometer is not working. There's just weird stuff throughout the whole car, just random wires. Even when I installed the stereo in this thing, there were just a ton of like mismatched wiring jobs. And even here, there's just more, just random wires. I don't know where these go to. There's like two different car alarm module boxes in here. Just so weird, man. So weird. But I'm gonna try soldering this connection back together, and maybe that'll fix why the speedometer's not working. Now I'm going to take this inside right now and take these gauge faces off, because I have a theory about this car, and it'll be confirmed if I can pull these gauges off and there's something different underneath them. Also, I don't know if that mileage is correct because of my theory. And look, just everything is broken and popped off. Nothing was done right by this guy. And these are the connectors to the white gauge faces. You can see that they were never corrected properly. Just like wires everywhere. They go in here and then they go down here. It's just so randomly weird. Okay, so I want to do more than just hook up these gauge faces. Instead, I also want to stick some anime decals or stickers on the inside of these gauges because I like anime stuff and I think it would look kind of cool. So to get these white faces off, I need to take these little clips that surround the gauge cluster out, and then from what I believe, it should just pop off. I'm not 100% sure. And also, I want to see what the gauges are underneath the white face. I'll explain more later. I also want to reposition this because it being out of alignment, it's really bugging me. But yeah, let's see how this goes. So again, I'm going to just take a flathead screwdriver or my hand, go around the whole gauge face, and slowly pop them all off just to see what's underneath. And probably clean up all this wiring too. So I managed to get the gauge little thing off, and it was actually a lot easier than I was expecting it to be, which is kind of worrying. Okay, so I pulled off the actual gauge parts, right? And my theory was correct. So if I lift up this right here, you can see underneath the gauges, they're in kilometers an hour, which is extremely cool. And I cannot too sure if I want to leave these gauges, the white afterglow ones, or if I want to take them off and have the kilometers an hour one on. I'm just not sure. Either way, it just looks really sick. So, and I decided rather than sticker bombing this, I think I'm gonna put the stickers onto here, the anime stickers and stuff, and just leave it just like that. Cause I feel like that would look pretty cool with a whole bunch of anime stuff on it. So we'll see. Either way, I'm kind of pumped right now. This just the awesomeness of it just got me excited. And I think I might order the chrome surrounds for the gauges too. So we'll see how that goes. And you can see right here, here's the wiring for the EL stuff. He actually cut notches in them and did it quite nicely. I'm surprised he never hooked them up correctly. I don't get that. Okay, so I cleaned out this black bezel that's going to go around the gauges. Eventually, I would also like to get the chrome surround that goes in here. But for now, since I don't want to order anything. But since you know I'm a massive anime weeaboo nerd who likes all things anime and nerdy, I've decided to do this. Yep, I got a bunch of leftover stickers from my Saab 92X center console sticker bombing, and I'm going to be sticker bombing that gauge cluster too. Maybe I'll stick some in the gauges themselves, who knows. Anyway, we'll see. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so the first sticker is on. I just got a lot more to put on, and I think it's going to look pretty sick. Okay, so I've actually been sticker bombing this for a couple of days. Believe it or not, it's a lot harder than it looks because I don't want to like waist to sticker, so I'm trying really hard to find ones that match in the perfect right spot, you know. But I'm gonna put this on pause real quick. Finish sticker bombing that later. Put that up there. And hopefully try and figure out how these wires work. Now I don't have the actual plug base, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut off this little prong right here, hook it up to this 12-volt battery, and see if I can get it to work. I'm probably gonna do this one first because this is the one I'm most okay with sacrificing if it breaks. So let's see how this goes. Okay, so I ended up cutting the tabs or the little connector off the end of this wire, hooking it directly to the battery to see if it starts to glow. It's not glowing, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull it off. I'm going to try the speedometer and tachometer next. And again, if they don't work, I'm just going to pull it all off and leave it in kilometers an hour. Now you might say, oh no, how are you going to tell how fast you're going in America that uses miles an hour? Well, on the inside of this gauge cluster, there is miles an hour in small little numbers, kind of like this. And I think I'll just use that. I'm not overly too worried about it. And it'll be kind of cool to have 220 on the dashboard. Now, once I pull out these glow gauges and all these aftermarket lights and things that the guy installed, because he he wasn't able to run the regular lights on the back. So I can basically return this to stock, have it function normally, hopefully. I'm just going to replace all the bulbs in it, finish sticker bombing that, and put it back together. I might pull these light bulbs, or these lights out too, because it's kind of ugly. But I'm going to take off these prongs, see if these start glowing. If they start glowing, then I'll keep them. If not, I'll just take them all off. So I returned the gauges back to the stock kilometer an hour ones, and I pulled apart the rest of the housing, and I took out the lights that were up here. So, well, they were actually put in there, and they were located in the top of the actual housing itself. So not only did I take the extra wiring that was included in these 3 gauge faces which don't work, but I also took out the extra wiring that's on the floor right there. So overall, I've definitely cleaned this thing up quite a bit to the point where there's a lot less extra wiring that's going to make things overly complicated. And I'm just going to replace these T10 and T5 bulbs, finish sticker bombing this panel, gluing everything back together, clear coating it, and then popping it back onto here. It'll be kind of cool to have the gauge cluster being kilometers an hour. It'll make the car really out of ordinary. And I still have the mile an hour indicator on the inside, so it'll look kind of cool. I'll be happy with it. So now is probably a good time for me to explain how I did this. I basically just stuck the stickers on here, cleaned it very well, obviously did that first, and then placed the stickers on here. Now when it comes to going around a massive circle or any kind of compound curve, what you have to do is cut the sticker with relief patterns in it, but even then it won't stick. So what I did is I used some really strong multi-surface glue, put that on there, and then used tape to hold it down. I let it sit for about 24 hours, and then I carefully peel away the tape, leaving the sticker nice and stuck on there. And it looks pretty cool. I'll peel the rest of the stuff away and put the gauge cluster back together. Okay, so here's the final product of what it looks like with everything back together. See, I won't be able to test out to see if the speedometer works or anything until after I get the car running, which is going to be a little tricky considering it hasn't started in 10 years. But overall, I'm really pleased with how it came out. It looks pretty cool. And yeah, if you like this video, hit like. If you want to see more videos like this, hit subscribe. And do whatever else you do on the internet, and stay safe and stay inside. This looks awesome. I'm happy with it.